there's something I'd like to talk about related to music, art, and internet culture. And I'll preface it by saying that I really appreciate the internet. I'm grateful to have access to it and be able to be a part of it as someone that creates music and videos online. I see this massive potential for the internet being a resource to musicians like myself to find our pool of people that we can congregate with in the same space, find like-minded people and find people that have the same interests as us, find our crowd basically. And that would be very hard to do without the internet. So I'm very grateful for that. There's something that really bothers me about the commenting culture though, that infringes upon this massive pro that I'm talking about, that devalues that with negativity. And of course, negative comments are negative because they're negative. But why? I think negative comments in the context of a subjective piece of art is a huge problem because it represents a sort of intolerance to things that are being created, intolerance to preference, intolerance to taste, intolerance to anything that is different or that goes against a pre-existing pillar of sorts that is objective. And I think that's very inappropriate. I think to have an objective viewpoint of what you want to hear or see in the context of art and music is really inappropriate, and I would reconsider that. And I see it as a huge problem. It bothers me really down to the core. Not only because as a human being, I am offended by, and hurt rather, by negative comments regarding some sort of creative output that I'm sharing. But beyond that, it's very disheartening. It's very deflating and very bothersome to me to see that kind of negativity in a place where, to me, it just does not make sense to have any kind of judgment. And specifically, I'm talking about a video that I uploaded yesterday. It was a compilation of clips from a live performance that I did with my friend, and it involved improvisation, video projections in the style of stop motion, live painting, and compared to the 100 or so videos that I've put out prior, this was just music, which is not a common thing on my channel. And it was more abstract, harder to follow, but it was clearly just that, music, a performance, a piece of art, something that my friend and I put a lot of energy, effort, and soul into, and we were very proud of. And I was very surprised to see some of the comments that were super critical and judgmental of the obscureness that they were referring to of this music and this piece. And it's super surprising to me because it seems so out of place. And it's very discouraging to see that in a space that is so subjective, like I said. You know, there's a huge range of emotions, experiences, feelings that as humans, I think we seek to connect with and be in touch with. And that's what drives myself to create things. I think that's what drives a lot of people to seek different types of art, different types of music. And it's all governed by our background, what we're previously exposed to, what we prefer, what we're used to, what we can imagine, all these things, and what we're emotionally feeling or needing at that point in our lives or our day. So there's this wide range of music and art that is being both created and being consumed. And I see a value for every single type of music and art in this wide range, beyond what I can imagine too, because everyone is different. There's something different for everyone. If you're trying to dial it into some sort of objective pillar, objective meter of sorts that can govern or warrant some sort of opinion about a type of music or art, sure, I can imagine that. But if you're sitting there criticizing something just by its very nature, because you don't consider it to be either beautiful or meaningful, or if it just doesn't make sense to you, then I think that's super inappropriate. And like I said, it does a huge disservice to everyone out here trying to create things, basically. So I would reconsider that. If you are confused, or if you are just not into it, you're not into it, right? You can pose a question, you could click off, you can do all types of things, but to express a type of judgment and criticism in this situation, to me, is unnecessary, and I wouldn't do it. I would reconsider it. And perhaps this is a plea for everyone moving forward, and just a plea for everyone, including myself, to keep in mind that when we are commenting, it's not a casual thing. Even though it's super easy to do, we're behind the screen, we're basically anonymous, but we're part of something greater, and we're placing ourselves into a space that, you know, is not necessarily ours. I don't know if that makes sense, but at the same time, I don't want to be focusing on the negative comments, because there are plenty of positive ones. I really, really appreciate every one of you that leaves positive comments on any of the videos, on any videos on YouTube in general. I think that's a great thing. Again, I'm not criticizing all negative comments, because sometimes it's necessary, like I said, but in this context, it's not. So I would reconsider that. Also, this video, if you're confused, I had to take it down because at 3 minutes 57 seconds it clipped, and I'm not sure why this glitch happened, but as soon as the video corrects itself, I will put it back up. Again, thank you to everyone who is supportive and positive. And yeah, that's basically all there is that I wanted to say. Thank you so much. And I know this was a bit of an unusual talk, but regardless, thank you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.